Once upon a time, in a small and peaceful town, there lived a cheerful little girl named Venus. Venus loved listening to the bedtime stories her mother told every night. They were full of magical places, friendly animals, and wonderful adventures. But there was one small problem. Venus had a hard time falling asleep. Whenever she closed her eyes, her mind filled with so many exciting ideas and adventures that she just couldn't drift off to sleep. One night, after telling a story, her mother gently kissed her forehead and said, "Sweet dreams, my dear." Before going to sleep, Venus walked to the window and looked up at the night sky. The stars were shining brightly, like tiny diamonds scattered across the sky. The moon glowed softly, lighting the world with a gentle smile. As Venus watched the sky, she suddenly realized something. Maybe sleep had its own kind of magic. Her eyes slowly began to feel heavy, and a warm feeling of peace wrapped around her, like the softest pillow in the world. And then something magical happened. A mysterious door appeared, glowing softly like stardust. It was a door to the world of dreams. Without even realizing it, Venus stepped through the glowing doorway and found herself in a wonderful place called the Dream Garden. The Dream Garden was unlike anything she had ever seen before. The flowers glowed gently in the night, their petals sparkling with soft light. The leaves shimmered like silver, and tiny water fairies danced above a small, sparkling pond, while sweet melodies filled the air. As Venus walked through the garden, she suddenly heard a soft voice. "Welcome, little one." Venus looked up and saw a wise old owl sitting on a branch. The owl had big, round eyes that glowed warmly in the moonlight. "Welcome to the Dream Garden," the owl said kindly. "Here, everything reminds us of the beauty of sleep and dreams." The owl's voice was soft and calming, almost like a lullaby. It made Venus feel peaceful and safe. As Venus continued walking, she noticed a small, fluffy rabbit resting under a glowing flower. "Hello," said the rabbit happily. "My name is Pamuk." Pamuk's white fur looked as soft as a cloud. He smiled warmly at Venus. "Sleep is very special," Pamuk explained. "It helps our bodies and minds rest. And when you wake up in the morning, you're ready for new adventures." Venus listened carefully. She had never thought about sleep that way before. A moment later, a tiny squirrel jumped down from a tree branch and gently landed on Venus's shoulder. "Sleep helps us remember the things we learn during the day," the squirrel whispered, "and it helps our minds grow stronger." Venus began to understand. Sleep wasn't just about closing your eyes. It was something magical that helped your body, mind, and imagination grow. As she walked through the dream garden, Venus saw wonderful things everywhere. A gentle breeze rustled through the leaves, sounding almost like a lullaby. Moonlight danced across the flowers, making the garden glow with soft golden light. In the center of the garden stood a giant oak tree. Hanging from its branches were colorful, glowing lights created by tiny dream fairies. One of the fairies fluttered down and hovered gently in front of Venus. Her wings sparkled like tiny stars. "Dear Venus," the fairy said softly, "every night when you fall asleep, all the wonderful things you learned during the day become the seeds of new dreams." Venus's eyes widened with wonder. "So, dreams help us grow?" she asked. "Yes," the fairy smiled. "Dreams help guide tomorrow's adventures." Just then, a small turtle slowly walked toward Venus. "Sometimes," the turtle said gently, "we all need to slow down. Sleep helps us feel calm and patient." Venus smiled. every new friend in the dream garden was teaching her something special. As the night grew quieter, all the magical creatures gathered around Venus. The owl, the rabbit, the squirrel, the turtle, and the tiny dream fairies all waved goodbye. "Remember," they said softly, "every night of sleep prepares you for a brand new day." Slowly, Venus's eyes began to close. The garden grew softer and quieter, and soon, everything faded into peaceful dreams. When the morning sun finally rose, warm golden light filled Venus's bedroom. She slowly opened her eyes and found herself back in her cozy bed. Her mother gently brushed Venus's hair and smiled. "Good morning, my dear," she said. Venus smiled back. She remembered the dream garden and all the wonderful friends she had met. From that day on, every night when Venus went to bed, she thought about the magical garden and its gentle lessons. And every night, she fell asleep peacefully, because now she knew that sleep wasn't just for resting. It was the beginning of beautiful dreams, magical adventures, and a brand new day. And every morning, Venus woke up feeling happier, stronger, and ready for whatever adventures the day would bring.